but it's not political, and it's definitely something I think we can all agree. So this is a Rev video, and this is apparently about a dev. I'm not sure which dev, but I've kind of sort of heard about this. That uh, 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 someone basically has a problem with, like, they basically they say something really stupid about men's mental health. Well, Barb, that's exactly why I'm staying away from that video. That is precisely why. It's political bullshit that I do not want to deal with. Flat out. So it's not being watched on my stream. Sorry. Anyway, let's check this out, because Rev always has good stuff.
Hey, what's up, guys? Rev here. So at this point, I think it's no mystery that on Twitter, you will see some of the most toxic behavior rewarded if the target is one that people think is an acceptable one to attack. And the reactions to this tweet parallel a lot of the issues in the gaming industry currently, and I want to talk about how they relate. So here we have this tweet, very basic, just saying men's mental health matters. Now, unless you're a psychopath, I think this is something we can all agree on. Oh, wait, this is Twitter. So here's this tweet reacting to it saying, if men's mental health mattered to men, they'd be creating safe spaces for themselves and each other, pursuing therapy and creating community. Instead, they perpetuate the very...
Okay, I'm gonna let this cook because I know there's a response to this. I'm gonna see if Rev brings up that response.
Very behavior systems that have handicapped them in the first place, refuse to support or create community amongst each other, severely damage the women in their lives, who try to care for them, and attack women online for not doing the work for them in replies to tweets like the one below, LOL. And you can see 164,000 likes on a tweet that's basically just saying, men, you deserve everything bad happening to you and it's all your fault. Now,
then this is the same fucking bitch that will look at a man when he's calling her a mentally deficient cunt and go, how could you say something like that to me? When she says shit like this. They perpetuate the very behavior systems have handicapped them in the first place, refuse to support or create community amongst each other. Really? Like, attack women online for not doing the work for them in replies to tweets. Yeah, baby, just, well, that's why I'm gonna let Rev cook for a second here, because there is a response to this that is exactly that.
A lot of people looked at some of the mentions here of safe spaces and communities and the claim that men don't have it.
Oh yeah, and by the way, if a man was to talk about having a safe space, or wanting a safe space, you know what would happen? If a man says, I'm creating a safe space for me or for my friends, guess what would happen? The women, like this woman, would be called a pussy, or would be called a cuck, and they'd be made fun of, and they'd be ridiculed. So this woman is just saying this because she's feeling self-righteous, because if they actually did any of this, if a man that she knew actually did any of this, she would deride him and call him every name in the book. That would be, he's a pussy, he's a cuck, he's a soy boy, he's a mama's boy. You're not actually a man. Like, she would shit all over any man that did exactly what she is saying right here. She would, the people she knows, and all the people that are liking the 164,000 people liking this. This is why it is women like this. The reason why men said, fuck this shit when it comes to dating. It's why they said, instead of going out to the bar or going out to the club and trying to get with a woman, fuck that, I'm gonna hang out with the boys. Because the boys actually care about me. They actually give a shit about me. Because of women like this. No, actually, Merlin, I think women have actually strengthened it. It's simply just men don't advertise it anymore. Men's clubs or the boys' clubs are very much still there,
Well, that's
but
just
they're
life.
not.
Men are destined to live in the modern day. Be miserable your whole life, then die alone.
That's kind of the way it's been put out. But men absolutely have boys' clubs and men's clubs. They absolutely do. The difference is they don't advertise them anymore. They're secret. Men have had to form these men's clubs and boys' clubs and keep them secret. So women don't know about them, so they can't try to infiltrate them or start like trying to shame them online. Which I'm gonna say this flat out right now to any men listening to the sound of my voice. Any men that can hear the sound of my voice, either here on stream or when I post this on YouTube, do not worry about making your boys' club or men's club private, a secret. Do not. Because you have nothing to fear from stupid little cunts like this. You do not. All they have is their Twitter account. All they have is this, where they can scream into the void, where other people in this void will hear them, but none of them matter. If you wanna hang out with your boys, you hang out with your boys because they care about you. Never, ever let any woman make you feel less than you are because of a decision that you have made to better yourself. You are not less of a man for wanting to hang out with the boys versus being with a woman. In fact, it makes you more of a man because you're not bowing or kowtowing to a woman's desires. You're being true to yourself. And don't make your boys club or men's club secret. Make it public. And then when a woman says, "Well, you have to let me in," you look at that woman straight in the eye and say, "The fuck I do. Who the fuck are you to say that you can come into my club? Go fuck yourself. Go scream on Twitter for a while. You do not fucking matter." Point blank. Just remember, bitches like this do not matter. Because guess what? They are losing the power of the pussy. Because let's face it, that was where their power was. Women like this, their power was their pussy. Because, attractive women knew for a long time they could get men to do whatever the hell they want because men wanted to sleep with them. Men have wised up. Men no longer fucking care about fucking a hot woman. If they see a hot woman, they don't care if they fuck her or not anymore. They don't. And so now, the power of the pussy doesn't exist for the most part anymore.
We have to keep them a secret because the law always gets involved and shut it down.
No, the law can't shut it down. That's a misnomer. If you have a boys' club or something, the law cannot shut you down. They legally cannot shut you down. Sure, a woman can probably spend money on a fucking lawyer to try and legally force it, and if it's a private club, a woman has absolutely no legal right to be part of any private club just because she's a woman. There is absolutely zero legal justification for a woman to be a part of any private club. None. Well, and Taurus, that's why I'm saying it, because it should be socially acceptable, and it needs to be socially acceptable. That's why I'm saying it. I'm hoping that people hear me and understand that this needs to become socially acceptable. We currently have a community of a present viewer count of 82 people in this chat in this stream. I think I can feel fairly confident in saying every single one of you has the same view of this subject that I do when it comes to men's mental health and as far as, how they are treated and everything I've said thus far. I think I can be fairly confident that everyone in this chat right now feels the same way that I do. And that's why I'm broadcasting this. Because this is a chat with 82 people who all think the same way. And this can grow. This gets out. This can grow. My YouTube channel is not big, but it's big enough that I'm seeing that people are watching my videos. And this message needs to get out. More and more. And that's it. That's flat out it. Men need to be okay with saying, yes, the power of pussy is gone. That women do not hold the reins anymore because men are not obsessed with sleeping with them.
Head says it all in her male loneliness video.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm pretty sure I saw that one. Yeah. And maybe I'm just reiterating all her points. But it needs to be said because obviously it needs to keep being said. And it needs to reach as many ears and eyes as possible. And so I'm going to continue to keep saying. That's it.
Any of these things or have never tried, and a lot of people countered with gaming. Okay,
Cheer 100. My boys club is my backyard with my friends and my girl is inside with their wives and we ignore each other for hours and it works great.
If that works for you, Sadistic, that works for you. That's great.
that is a space that only a decade or two ago was predominantly men. I think it's no secret, and a lot of people found community amongst gaming, right? But nowadays, if you look at the gaming industry in particular, things look very different than they did about 20 years ago. And it's not just that there's more female gamers, it's more about the people making the games. The people making the games, whether male or female, have entered the space with an agenda, and an agenda that often demonizes men. And I think that is greatly exemplified by several stories we're going to look at today.
Okay, so he didn't bring it up, so I will. There was a response to this tweet. I'm not sure who made the response to it. The response to this tweet was basically to the effect of, yeah, she's reading about all this when people like her demanded that women be let into these safe spaces in the first place. Men can't have safe spaces because you demand to be a part of them. So women have decreed that men cannot have safe spaces because if they do, they're sexist and women should be a part of them. That's it. That wasn't brought up on this one. I saw it on another video previously. But it's, that is women, women demanding everything. Yeah, Alex, I know it was. I was waiting to see if Rev brought it up.
In my experience,
and he didn't.
The men I know don't talk about their problems the same way women do. Men do talk to each other. We understand our hardships with less words. The problem is, men are being told by women that we aren't doing it right. The thing that has worked for thousands of years is wrong? But that's my take on it.
Yeah, well, Jeebus, yeah. It's basically a bunch of, feminist, women's gender studies people have said, we know better than you. Because what's been working for hundreds or thousands of years, we don't like because it's working. It's not done in our image. Men were able to do it themselves, and that's unacceptable. And that is unacceptable. Women, men should not bend to a women's... men, writ large, are under no obligation to bend to women's idealized versions of them. They are under no obligation to, and they shouldn't. And Eki, as far as toxic masculinity being a bullshit idea, I'm gonna say this, Eki. Toxic masculinity as a concept has been morphed and transmogrified into an idea that no longer represents what it originally might have been. Because, okay, I will say there is, or used to be, I think there actually used to be a toxic masculinity. And this was something that Hollywood actually made fun of. It was the old school chads. Not what we currently would consider a chad. It was the old school 80s or 90s chads who were completely full of themselves and treated women like shit. That's what I would consider quote unquote toxic masculinity. It has since been morphed and twisted. Yeah, the bully jock. It is no longer that. Toxic masculinity now has been twisted into basically if a woman doesn't like a man, he's toxic. That's it. So, toxic masculinity, like so many words of power, have lost meaning.
Unfortunately, there were cases in the last few years where places like men's only gyms were shut down due to discrimination lawsuits. Cheer 100.
That doesn't surprise me, Aaron. It honestly doesn't surprise me. And my guess is they probably just didn't want to fight the lawsuit. The gyms probably did not have the money to fight the suit. That's my guess. Yeah, yard dog. That's it exactly.
Have you heard of
That is
passport
exactly.
bros? These guys literally pick up women from other countries.
That just sounds like mail order brides. Yeah, yard dog, you're right. You're exactly right. If a man holds a woman accountable, or if a man calls a woman out on her bullshit, he's considered toxic. My stance on it, keep doing it. Keep calling women out on their bullshit. Let them call you toxic. It means nothing. A woman calling you toxic online means precisely dick. Keep calling women out on their bullshit. Let them call you toxic. They're reading into the void, and it doesn't matter. Keep doing it. Keep calling them out. Every single fucking time. Every single time.
And I think that is greatly exemplified by several stories we're going to look at today involving the gaming industry and those involved with it, beginning with this headline right here. Game Developers Conference Advisor and video game consultant and developer Marina Diaz says F white men and gatekeepers. This is a very common...
And again, this is someone who will say you can't be racist against white people. This is someone who will 100% say you cannot be racist against white people, which is factually wrong. And if anybody takes her to court, legally wrong. Because I guarantee you, if somebody took her to court for racism, they could win.
Gaslighting strategy for people like this who invade someone else's hobby or space and then kick out the original people and said it was never for you in the first place. Now, who is this individual? Well, you can see she's already privated because people like this are totally afraid of any sort of criticism. But she's also the CEO of a gaming company called 3 of Cups, where you can see their mission statement here. 3 of Cups Games is an ethical, diverse, and inclusive game studio based in London, UK.
Because of course it's DEI, and because of course it's in London. Of course. And hi, can mute. Oh yeah, everyone. Yeah, it's... Yeah. Go even make it... No, you don't. You're full of shit. She's lying. She's absolutely lying. Thank you, Taurus. Yeah, she's 100% lying. You believe in emotions? No, you don't. You believe in making games for everyone? No, you don't. You believe in people? No, you don't. Lie, lie, lie. You can help change the world through games? Lie. And lies. This is a manifesto of lies.
is an ethical, diverse, and inclusive game studio based in London, UK. We believe that we can help to change the world through games. We believe in emotions. We believe in making games for everyone. But above all, we believe in people. Amazing. A whole bunch of word salad about diversity and inclusivity. But they also say we believe in making games for everyone. Well, except for white men, apparently. So here's a tweet she made only a couple of days ago saying, I went from thinking I'm a shitty designer to consult and train teams at one of the biggest games companies in the world. Keep believing in yourself and F white men and gatekeepers.
Sorry guys, but I got to be toxic real quick. You all are amazing and deserve to have a good day.
Stop it, Kira, and thank you.
You'll see a common pattern here where every single thing she does in her life.
Oh, and by the way, because she's Puerto Rican, she thinks that she can be racist. Because guess what? She's racist. She's racist. This statement right here is a racist statement. Right here. She is a racist. So everybody, Marina Diaz is a racist. Let's just put it out there. She is racist. Look, she's Puerto Rican. That's the, if I'm not mistaken, that's the Puerto Rican flag. I believe. Now, maybe I'm wrong, but I believe that is the Puerto Rican flag. And she probably is a shit designer. But she's also racist. She is. Let's call spade a spade here. Is it Palestinian? No. Oh, yeah, she's supporting Palestine. Okay. Okay, yeah. God, why did I you're right. I don't know. Okay. But my guess is she's probably. So yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I fucked up the flag. Yeah, it's she supports Palestine, but my guess is she is Latin American descent. And yeah, having the Palestinian flag here does speak volumes. It does. But she's racist. She's racist. And I will flat out say it. A white person who basically says, if she actually was white and said, fuck white men, that's racist. Because, newsflash, you can be racist against your own race. This is not a, just because you're of the same race, it is not a get out of jail free card. It is not. Not in the eyes of the law. It is not a get out of jail free card. Yeah, it's also sexist, but that was a given. That was a gimme.
She counters by also saying something negative about white people, in particular white men, because apparently that's what's on her mind constantly. But besides the racism and the misandry down here, we have this statement, which I don't know why she thinks this is an own. She's basically saying, she's admitting that she's not a very good designer, but then saying that she's been entrusted with the responsibility of consulting and training teams at one of the biggest games companies in the world. This is not something you should probably be saying. It confirms a lot of suspicions people have about the qualifications of people in the industry right now. But moving forward, she had many other tweets. This one was from back in April, where she said, growing my abs to crush nuts and obnoxious white men with them. She literally can't even work out without thinking about white men. It's very, very...
So, either she's... So I have a question. Is she just an activist because she's a fucking idiot? Or did a white guy break up with her and now she hates white men? I'm wondering if she was dating a white guy or something who broke up with her and now she's a bitter hag because of it. Yep. Guy probably left her because he said, you're a toxic bitch, I'm out of here. And she's like, you can't call me toxic, you're the toxic one. I hate all white men now. Exactly. She probably was in a relationship. The guy dodged a bullet and said, okay, fuck this shit, I'm out. And she can't get over it.
Strange. Here's another one from earlier this year in April. why white men over 40, for being somehow generous, are allergic to saying the word diversity. And this is also a common pattern with a lot.
I can give you an explanation. Because it's constantly shoved down people's throats and it no longer means what it's supposed to actually mean. Diversity actually used to mean all-encompassing of everybody, where it wasn't just one singular race or gender. That's what it used to mean. Now, diversity actually means everyone except white men. That's why white men over 40 and under 40, let's not bullshit. Why white men period don't say the word diversity, because diversity in this day and age is another word for racism. Diversity has become modern day racism. It is the new word for it. Because diversity means everyone except white men. Flat out. It's not simply anti-white yard dog. It's white men. Because they'll hire on white women, no problem. They'll take on white women. They'll go for non-white women first, but they'll still take on white women. Especially if they're gay. If they're gay, that's like an extra little star next to their name. If it's a white woman who's gay, oh hell, or non-binary, they get a star. Absolutely. But if you're a white man, you are not considered quote-unquote diverse. That's why they don't like saying the name. They don't like saying the word. Because diversity is another way of saying racist to white people, to white men. That's it. That's why they don't like to say it. And Rev may not say it, because he has a major channel that he needs to protect. I don't fucking care. I'm gonna say it. When I hear diversity, I think anti-white male. I think racist against white men. Racist and sexist. That's it. That's what diversity is now. Diversity no longer has the same meaning that it had 20 years ago, at best. But like
A lot of people in the gaming industry or games journalists who have this very strange infatuation with older male figures. They're always angry at older male figures, which pretty much at that point the jokes write themselves. But in this scenario, you have someone who's in their 40s, right? Older people in the industry, and they're saying, like, why don't they buy into my version of diversity? Well, probably because they have a lot of life experience and they see what you mean by diversity, which is not actually diversity, because your diversity doesn't include them or other people you don't like. So they see this and they just don't buy into it.
Yeah, Alex. You're right. It's the SJAs that have that they have basically gathered people into their flock and brainwashed them, has made them think that all the wrongs of the world are caused by straight white men.
Cheer 100 diversity is what this chat has. A wide array of people who have differing exercises who can still get along, like an imperial bounty hunter hanging with someone the Empire shoots on sight.
Bobcat? You're right. You're 100% right. This community, and this is why I love this community. This is why I think my Twitch community is one of the greatest in Twitch. Is because, like, I personally do not know most of your guys' gender or ethnicity. I do not know. And nor does it matter to me. You guys are here because, God bless you, you enjoy my content. You love what I'm doing. God bless you for that. You're here to have a fun time. You all have very unique points of view. I can provide you information that you may not have known about. You guys provide me information that I may not have known about. And we talk, we laugh, we rage. We all get along together. That is diversity. This community is diversity. It is actual diversity. So, Marina Diaz, if you're watching, I know you're not. But if you're watching, take fucking note. The strays are diversity. True diversity. Educate yourself, you dumb bitch. And Kanito, why am I not surprised they have they in the fucking bio? Why am I not surprised?
And that makes you angry. But she would continue with other tweets where she was talking about going to a conference.
That's actually
and
not
saying
anymore,
that she
I don't
met
think.
someone she has a lot of respect and she admires. And she is saying we need more people like her to kick the old white privileged asses. Again, nothing happens without thinking about white people as a secondary response.
Yeah, because guess what? There are non-white privileged asses all over the fucking place. Clarence Thomas, anyone? Last I checked, Clarence Thomas isn't white. And holy fuck has he been sitting on privilege for decades in the courts. It's not just white people who have privilege. I know Atanashi, I know. It's that I'm not like complimenting him in any way, shape, or form. That's why I'm saying this. He is an absolute piece of shit. But guess what? He's also got privilege too, doesn't he? He definitely got fucking privilege. Yep. Pactra, exactly. Exactly. And Robo-Spartan. The only color that matters to anyone is green. That's it.
Here's another one where she was organizing a spontaneous meetup in Berlin for marginalized game developers and how amazing this has been. And this person says, "Oh my god, Marina, I love this." Where she replies by saying, "I was so tired of so many cis white men at meetups."
You're blue from where you're at.
Huh? They're blue. The fuck are you talking about? Yeah, but Bobcat? He also, he also sexually harassed a woman and was never taken off the bench. Hence where I talk about the privilege. That's where I talk about the privilege. Is he did shit that should have gotten him removed from the bench, and it didn't. So, oh, some money's blue. Okay, Pactra. Okay. And, back to this. I'm so tired of so many cis white men, and god damn it, I hate the fucking cis. I hate the fucking cis thing. Stop this bullshit. If you just can't say a white man, if you can't say white men, if you have to include cis, that means you have no point. Including this means you do not have a valid point, and you're only injecting that to try and make you and the point you're making seem more important and more valid than it has any right to be. And because I just explained why. This is because what they have to say either is complete bullshit or has no weight. This is put in to try and add false legitimacy. Heckle, at this point you are correct. At this point you are 100% correct. You are. Taurus, I don't find it. It doesn't matter. Again, this is to try and add legitimacy. And yeah, it's like they're saying that only biologically born men are a problem. Again, racist and sexist. To the extreme. But I'm gonna point this out. Who is this? This happens to look like a white guy to me. From this angle. This looks like a white guy. Eh? Seriously. I'm so tired of so many cis white men at meetups. So, she's tokenizing. He's their token white boy. Maybe he's gay. I don't know. I'm not going to determine his sexuality based on this photo. what I'm going to determine is he is their token white boy, so they can say, look, we have a white male friend or a white male colleague. That means we're exempt from being criticized. That's what it is. Remember there used to be the token black friend? Now it's the token white male friend. That's what it is. This is turning into the token white male friend. That's it.
First of all, ladies and gentlemen, behold, diversity and marginalized creators. Yeah, this looks like your typical like games journalist meetup here. But yeah, that's the story with all of this. Clearly very unhinged. This person has an issue with white people, white gamers, and it just is blatantly obvious. And of course, as per usual with people like this, she has all that bravado.
Yep, there we go. She, they. Yeah, they're all fucking white. Diversity, right? Emotional game designer and storyteller. Emotional. Chat, what the fuck is an emotional game designer and storyteller? What is that? Anybody? Wait, what? No, this is a guy. This is not a girl. This is a guy. Of course she privated it. Of course she privated it. Because anytime any of these SJADEI's activists... Patrick, you goddamn right I did. You are goddamn right I did. You know why? Because I'm a logical individual. And if someone looks like a man, I'm going to say that's a man. Now, I may get if I met this person in real life and I address them as if they were a man, and they say, actually, I'm transgender and I'm transitioning to being a woman, fine. But you know what? I'm not going to apologize for looking at someone and say, okay, this looks like a man. I'm going to consider them a man. I'm not going to apologize for that. Why? Because I don't have crippling
I'm going to say
SJA
this
disorder.
half black, half Puerto Rican people like me wouldn't be treated fair by them, and in the last few years I wasn't due to how light I look.
No, and Xanax, I get it. Like they're calling people of Asian descent white adjacent. They consider Asian people white. Like they're flat out like this is flat out racism. They are flat out racism, and you know what? I'm gonna call it how I see it. This looks like a man. I'm going to call him a man. They don't like it. I don't fucking care. Because I'm not going to apologize for believing my own truth-seeking eyes. This is not a do not believe your own lying eyes situation. Fuck that. You got one man and 2, 4, 6, 8 women. It is the token white guy. He is a fucking token white guy. Well, okay, so Aaron, in terms of pronoun use, if I encounter a transgender individual and I initially, if I view this person and they look male, and I refer to them as male, and they tell me and they say, no, I'm transgender, I'm actually female, I have no objection to going, sorry, and calling them female. I don't. I really don't. Especially if they do it in that way. If they're just like, no, actually, I'm this. I'm fine, because if they're respectful to me, I will be respectful to them. And I've said it thousands of times. I 100% support transgender individuals. I've known several throughout my life, and I have always been very supportive of them. I've always referred to them in their to the pronouns they've transitioned to. I have absolutely zero objection to that. I've never had a problem to it, and I never will. However, I am not going to be second, third, and fourth guessing myself when looking at someone and going, okay, this looks like a man. I'm going to refer to them as a man, instead of going, oh God, I don't know if this person is male or female. I don't want to offend them. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go with what my eyes see until, if and when, the individual gives me a polite correction, in which case I will politely apologize and change it up. I don't have an objection to doing that. I have an objection to people when I see someone and I go, okay, you look like either male or female, and will address you as such, and then they go on the attack. It's like, no, fuck no. Do not do that. Because people can make mistakes, and a simple, mild correction is usually enough. You come at me on the offense, like in extreme, because a perfectly understandable mistake is made. Now I have a problem with you. It's as simple as that. It really is. Yeah. Stop being an asshole for no fucking reason. It should be as simple as that, and it never will be, unfortunately.
Obvious. And of course, as per usual with people like this, she has all that bravado when she's going unquestioned in her echo chamber, but the second she gets any real criticism or blowback, they hide and go private. I mean, we've seen this happen pretty much every single time a person in the industry is criticized for anything. Now, moving on to the next topic, we're going to shift over into animation studios here. So similar to what's going on in the gaming industry, you have people just boldface saying that they're going to prefer to hire women over men simply.
Well, that's going to come back to bite them in the ass. This is going to come back to bite them in the ass. This is discrimination. This is hiring discrimination. Right here. When I worked at a Waffle House, a waitress threw hot oil at me for calling them a girl because they look like one. Really, Barb? Fucking hell. I mean, Red Bastard, yeah, it's Waffle House, but it's still no excuse. It isn't. I'm sorry, just because it's a fucking Waffle House does not excuse it. Not at all. But, like, this right here this is flat out hiring discrimination. This is a lawsuit waiting to happen. Flat out. And BBQs, I'm guessing no, because the amount of money, it'd be Barb's money versus Waffle House's money, and Waffle House has a fuckload more money than Barb does, I'm guessing. Lawsuit, unfortunately, it'd be not, like, unfortunately, because lawsuits are just, like, frivolous lawsuits are the norm these days, it is so fucking hard to file an actual legitimate lawsuit these days and not be bled dry with the waiting game for the lawyers. Which fucking sucks. So, but let me point this out. Yeah, thank you, Deeper. I was just about to point that out. What the fuck is the adulting production team? What the fuck is this toddler grade bullshit right here? Adulting production team. Like, what the actual fuck? This is just... this is kindergarten shit. Yeah, sure it is, bastard. It means that they have a Gen Zer in charge of it. And they said, we're gonna call this the adulting because we're adulting. Oh my fucking god. Look, I don't want to live on this planet anymore. I really don't. I really don't.
Because of their gender and nothing to do with their credentials. So here you have Studio Smokescreen, who says, "Big news. We're proud to announce our commitment to make sure that women make up at least 70% of our entire adulting production team. We've partnered with our friends over at Women in Animation to both get feedback and source talent through the development process."
Probably,
Big
Tenryu.
news. We're doing a discriminatory hiring practice that's probably illegal in most countries. Like, they're just admitting this outright. Like I said, they are saying that we care more about your gender than your actual credentials, and we will keep some weird status quo number of 70%. And
There is one positive. There is one positive to all this shit that we're seeing. Do you know what that positive is? You may not be seeing it, but there's positive that you're probably not seeing. All of these women-centric studios and women-centric productions and DEI-centric productions are all failing colossally. Every single one of them is failing colossally. These companies are losing millions upon millions of dollars. Yeah. Oh, well, Taurus. The thing that I fear, though, is that when the pendulum swings the other way, it's going to swing to an extreme level, just like this is. That's my fear, is it will swing in the extreme opposite direction. But for right now, all of these companies that are pulling this shit are failing on an epic scale. Concord, which did this, has failed on an epic scale and may very well take Sony with it. Dustborn is failing on an epic level. All of these are failing. Like, Suicide Squad, fail. Took a big chunk of WB with it. All of these are failing and costing these companies hundreds of millions of dollars. And as we all know, the companies only give a fuck about one thing. They don't give a fuck about DEI, bridge, diversity. They don't give a fuck about any of that. They don't. They care about one thing. And this ain't it. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, EA's already in a bad spot.
And Sony
Ubisoft.
expended 400 Mi creating Concord, only to 15 days later shut down the game.
Yeah, exactly. So that is the one positive, is we can actually see in real time how epically these companies are failing. And before too long, the parent companies are going to say, yeah, we don't like losing hundreds of millions of dollars. This is not sustainable. And they're going to start booting him. Look at Ubisoft. The Ubisoft stock is down, down, down. Sony stock, down. All of it is down. And what's going to happen is the investors and the stockholders are going to be saying, guess what? We actually have stakes in this company. You're going to stop this shit. Or we're going to start filing or we will start filing lawsuits that we can actually back up.
This is why the day goes go woke, go broke.
Yeah. The companies that have shareholders, they're the ones that can actually file lawsuits and follow through on it. And it's going to start happening.
Always uphold it in terms of how many women work at the company. It's very, very strange. And it also reminds people of High Guardian Spice, where they had an all-female cast, and that was an absolute disaster. And it's not...
Oh, sweet fucking Jesus, what is this? This works in anime. It doesn't work in real life. This doesn't work in real life. And let's be honest, are you at all surprised to see this? At all? Is anybody surprised to see this? Nope. Not at all. Not at all. Nope. I've never even heard of High Guardian Spice, honestly. I have no fucking clue what this anime is. I've never even heard of it.
Really that surprising when you have unhinged people who have a
Eh.
bloodthirst for half.
Holy crap, men are trash, kill all men. We're trying to decide a slogan for 2015, torn between why not and nothing's weird, but my vote is still for kill all men. I just can't with these
the
people.
world's population. It kind of corrupts everything you do in your life when you have this sort of nonsense in your head. But anyways, looking at Studio Smokescreen,
Yes,
you can
Xanax.
see that they have a Kickstarter project for their adulting animation, which is what they were mentioning in the original tweet. And let's see the Kickstarter.
Okay, so it actually is called adulting. It actually is called. They actually did call it adulting.
Remember when you were talking about history repeating itself? We found the army.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's not. Except an army requires an actual denotates an actual fighting force. Despite popular opinion, Twitter is not where battles are actually fought. It is not. And you gotta love this. Two codependent millennial sisters, of course I had to say millennial, try to adult in a world where every other person over 30 has their shit together. I'm sorry, this needs to go away. The I'm adulting thing needs to go away. It does. This is grade school shit right here. Yeah, it's like this is just
SJW when you don't buy the bullshit.
and when this fails, look at this. Look at this key thing here. There's a $100,000 goal. There's 17 hours to go. They've made 18. They've collected. They've gotten 18 grand. They managed to get 18 grand out of 100,000.
So they are making one of those mobile games where the ad looks nothing like the actual game. Cheer 100.
This isn't a mobile game. This is an animated series. So that's like this is an actual animated series, not a game. This is probably what that group looks like. The loudest voices in the rack left are generally white women of a certain age who are the least likely to get married and have kids. Yeah, Andrew. Yes. Yeah, that's the thing. And more so than that, I'm gonna put even finer point on it. They have the white savior complex. These white women have a white savior complex. 100%. They're saying to all of their ethnically diverse, non-white friends or colleagues or coworkers, look at how much I'm championing you. It is completely a white savior complex. Absolutely. They're delusional enough to actually believe it. Yeah, well, Donut. I mean, this had 17 hours to go when Rev posted this, and they only got 18 grand. Shocking, it failed.
Oh, it's raised $18,000 out of its $100,000 goal with 17 hours to go. It's not going to make it. Anyways, let's move back to the gaming industry here, and we have this headline some people are talking about. Cyberpunk 2077 developer CD Projekt Red opens applications for 2024 edition of annual Girls in the Game.
Now, this one I talked about on another stream. The CD Projekt Red thing is Polish. The mentorship program is Polish based, and I'm reasonably sure that that there are indeed not as many opportunities for Polish girls as there are in the West. This is one instance where I'm inclined to be a little bit lenient because of the geographic location. Because Polish girls probably do not have as many opportunities in the gaming industry But Polish girls in Poland probably do not have as many opportunities in the gaming industry as men do. So, given the geographic location, I feel, on its face, I feel inclined to be more lenient about this one versus like Ubisoft, where it's fucking Montreal, which, let's face it, it's Canada, which is largely becoming more East Indian than anything else, and it doesn't hold and very female centric. Yeah, yeah, that is why with the CD Projekt Red one, I'm a little bit more lenient because the program is based in Poland, from my understanding. It's based in Poland, and because of that geographical location, girls there probably do not have as many opportunities. So that's why I'm not tearing this to shit like I did with the Ubisoft one. Because Ubisoft is Montreal. It's in the heart, it's in the middle of fucking Canada. Do not fucking tell me that girls don't have good opportunities in Canada. Because I will slap the shit out of you if you do. I live here. I know. So yeah, this is a little bit different.
Mentorship program. Now, if you're shocked to see CD Projekt Red doing this stuff, you haven't really been paying attention the last couple.
Donut, are you actually surprised that people that hate J.K. Rowling have no gumption to actually boycott their beloved franchise? No. Because they don't actually believe it. That's why I've said half these people that are white knighting for these causes don't actually believe in them. At all. They don't. They just want to be a part of a group. But they don't want to actually give up the things they actually like. So they don't believe anything they say.
Of years, they have been slowly integrating more and more DEI related stuff into their company. It's getting pretty obvious what they're focusing on recently. But this sort of mentorship program definitely reminds me of the mentorship program at Ubisoft, my channel, and a lot of other channels talked
here we
about
go. Ubisoft
a few days
one.
ago, where they have a program.
Yep. And this is where I have a big issue with this one because this is actually not even Ontario, it's fucking Toronto. Oh, sorry, specific to Toronto. You have to reside in Ontario. That is the biggest fucking melting pot of Canada. Pink, J.K. Rowling said that men are men and women are women. She doesn't agree with transgender. That's what J.K. Rowling said. She said that she basically doesn't agree with the idea of transgender. That's it. And that turned her into the devil for the entire alphabet crowd. So yeah, this is why I think the Ubisoft thing is bullshit, because you're talking about this happening in the goddamn melting pot of Canada. Where Canada is going very quickly the same route or worse than the United States with the DEI shit. It is. So do not fucking tell me that girls don't have just as much opportunity as men do in fucking Toronto. Because I will slap the shit out of you.
Where you have to identify as a woman or a non-binary individual.
Okay, your Andrea, thank you for the clarification.
To apply for this mentorship. Now, bouncing over to CD Projekt Red, you can see in their equitable practices section here, let's read this. We're not afraid to stand up for what we believe in by implementing inclusive benefits and creating a space where everyone can be themselves. We create a positive example for other companies and help affect positive social change. We believe that talented and passionate people are our biggest strength, and creating a strength and inclusive workspace helps us create more room for them in the industry.
Yeah, more corporate bullshit.
Company. And that's the director of Culture, Diversity, and Inclusion at CD Projekt Red. Now, that is reflected in their Girls in the Game program, where it says, we create a mentoring and scholarship program for high school girls to help them take their first steps in the video game industry. And basically, they go on to talk about how it relates to a lot of their goals at the company. And this is one of those things, like, it's great.
Huh? diversity and inclusion director. Yeah. Because apparently CD Projekt Red still has one. Because other companies are booting them the fuck out. Other gaming companies have booted out their DEI directors. Other gaming companies are starting to get the hint and starting to boot them out when they've been losing money. CD Projekt Red has not quite yet lost several hundred millions of dollars because of a DEI project. Yes, Cyberpunk started to a rocky start, but that was because of bugs. That wasn't DEI related. CD Projekt Red hasn't really been hit with a DEI related failure as of yet. The moment they do, she's out of a job. And yeah. Well, Concord wasn't CD Projekt Red. But that's what I'm saying. The minute CD Projekt Red gets hit with a failure due to DEI, this position will be eliminated. That's it.
Girls to help them take their first steps in the video game industry. And basically, they go on to talk about how it relates to a lot of their goals at the company. And this is one of those things, like, it's great that you're helping out these high school students and getting them basically their first taste of the industry. But, like, why are you only letting women do this? Like, why not just make it an open mentorship program?
And again, I'm gonna disagree with a little bit on Ref on this, and it's because you can see the title is in Polish. This is Polish based, and I have a very strong suspicion that in Poland, girls are not afforded the same opportunities for this kind of mentorship that boys are. And that's why I give this some leniency. And why I'm not like just calling it bullshit like I do with Ubisoft. Location, location, location.
You know, you're talking about inclusivity and using all different perspectives to make your product even better because you have everyone involved. But then you have programs like this that are limited to one gender. It just seems very strange, and like it could be a very good benefit just to give this to any gender. Like, I don't understand. But overall, that's kind of the relationship between reactions on
women?
Why do you think, Bobcat? Because they are DEI hires themselves. It's better to run a DEI position than a DEI hire. Makes perfect sense, don't it?
On social media like this to the gaming industry as well as animation studios and other forms of entertainment, and how
exactly,
people have
Taurus. That's what I'm talking about.
And basically kicked out all the people who were there, particularly men, and created a space where there is a lot of agenda pushing, and a lot of that agenda has to do with hating on men, and it's reflected in the tweets and the public statements of many different developers across the board. But for now, that's going to do it for this video. As always, I appreciate you guys listening. Feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you next time.
Well, that was a bit rage-inducing, wasn't it?